Gavin Ashenden knows what church division looks like. He spent decades inside the Anglican Communion and watched it slowly fracture over debates about doctrine, morality, and modern culture. As a former chaplain to Queen Elizabeth II, Ashenden saw these changes up close before eventually leaving Anglicanism himself in 2017. Now, he believes the Catholic Church is heading down the same road. Ashenden points directly to the recent report from Synod Study Group 9. The report suggests that homosexual relationships may not always be sinful and calls for a major paradigm shift in Catholic moral theology. To supporters, the report is about listening and pastoral care. But to critics like Ashenden, it represents something much bigger. He believes it is the beginning of a deep doctrinal change that could eventually reshape the church itself. According to Ashenden, the process follows a familiar pattern. First, church teaching is described as too harsh or outdated for modern people. Then, personal experience slowly becomes more important than traditional doctrine. Scripture is still respected publicly, but its meaning starts being reinterpreted through modern cultural ideas. At first, the changes appear small. There are discussions, experiments, and pastoral accommodations. Leaders insist that doctrine is not changing. But over time, critics argue, the foundation itself begins to shift. Ashenden says he watched this exact process happen inside Anglicanism, and he warns that the result was not unity or renewal. It was confusion, division, and collapse. The 2026 Study Group 9 report intensified these fears. It included testimonies from men in civil same-sex marriages, including one who described his sexuality as a gift from God. The report also questioned whether same-sex relationships are necessarily sinful. At the same time, critics say the report unfairly portrayed Courage International, a Catholic ministry that helps people with same-sex attraction live chastely according to church teaching. The report suggested connections to so-called reparative therapy, something Courage strongly rejects. Father Brian Gannon, Courage's executive director, called the report intellectually dishonest. Other Catholic leaders reacted even more strongly. Bishop Athanasius Schneider said the document crosses from orthodoxy into heresy. He compared its call to move beyond current teaching to the serpent tempting Eve in the Garden of Eden. Bishop Joseph Strickland described the report as a direct attack on Catholic teaching. For Ashenden, these debates are not just theoretical. He believes the Anglican Communion already proves what happens when churches try to adapt doctrine to modern culture. Instead of becoming stronger, Anglicanism became deeply divided. He argues that attempts to preserve unity through compromise actually destroyed unity in the end. Critics of the Synod process point to declining Christianity in Western countries as a warning sign. In France, only a small percentage of baptized Catholics actively practice the faith. In Germany, mass attendance has also dropped sharply despite years of progressive reforms and discussions. For traditional Catholics, this raises an important question. If adapting to modern culture was supposed to renew Christianity, why are churches in the West continuing to decline? Ashenden believes the answer is simple. He argues that Christianity loses its strength when it stops grounding itself in divine revelation and begins following the spirit of the age instead. His warning to the Catholic Church is clear. Do not repeat the mistakes that fractured Anglicanism, because once the foundation starts collapsing, rebuilding it may become impossible.